Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nightly Scroll. I'm Haley Carania. Hello to everyone in the chat. I already see there's a bunch of people here live watching the show. If you want to join them and watch the show live, you got to do it on Rumble. Rumble.com/Haley is the only place you can watch the full show live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't catch it at 6, totally get it. You can watch later on or on your favorite podcast platform. We've got a big show going on tonight, but first I wanted to just tell you all that I know I don't watch TV, right? I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. It makes a lot of you upset. But I was visiting my friend this weekend, and she's my friend from Nashville, and she always tells me, you know, you have to watch this show. I'm watching this show right now. You have to watch this. And I always say no, because that's my answer to everything. I really don't turn on the TV much. There aren't very many shows that I can get into that I like. She said, you have to watch this show, We Were Liars. And I just said, you know, okay, it's on my list. But my friends know that when I say that, it is just on my list. And that means it's my not to do list. It is my not to watch list. And I visited her this weekend and she said, you haven't watched it, have you? We're going to sit down and watch it, because we had all these plans, but it was pouring rain. So we watched almost the entire season on Saturday. Then I drove home on Sunday and she said, you must watch the last 2 episodes. The last 2 episodes are the best. The show is called We Were Liars. It is like, you know, one of these thriller, you know, there's something that happens, this tragedy that happens, but the main character is trying to figure out what's going on the entire time. And it's like a rich family on Nantucket, and there's, you know, a bunch of stuff going on. It's kind of, it gives me the, what's that other show? I can't think of it. It's just like rich family stuff. So I just thought, okay, fine, I'll watch it. The last episode left me in such shambles last night. I am not over it. I can't stop thinking about it. It's one of those plot twists where it makes you rethink everything. It was so emotionally charged. It makes me want to go back and watch the entire show over again. That's how crazy the plot twist is. Like, how could I not have seen this coming? Makes you want to go back and watch the entire thing again, but I can't go back and watch the entire thing again because it was too emotionally draining.
I bet this is a great litmus test that like other shows and movies would be like this too if you would give them a shot.
Maybe. I haven't heard
What's the name of this again?
We Were Liars.
We Were Liars.
It was so insane. If you like thrillers, it's a little like, I feel like it has a little bit of teeny bopper vibes. The acting isn't awesome, but you know, it's young high schoolers and they're spending their summers together, they're cousins, and something happens. I can't give it away. I urge you to watch it because it is just, I can't stop thinking about it. I know I have a show to do, but I cannot stop thinking about We Were Liars. It was insane. I was sobbing. This thing happens in the last episode, 20 minutes in, and I am sobbing. And then I thought that was the thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. It can't get any worse. It got 100 times worse, and I sobbed for probably like 40 minutes throughout the entire episode. So anyway, as someone who does not watch shows because the payoff is never like this. I'm never that invested. This one was a good one. So I will say that. Anyway, what are we talking about on tonight's show? President Trump went on an executive order signing spree, making it his mission, of course, to make cities great again, safe again, and to protect the flag. Then almost 3 million people have signed a petition asking Florida Governor DeSantis to lessen the punishment for that Indian national who killed a Florida family of 3 after making an illegal U-turn. I think not. Then the Biden administration secured federal funding for electric school buses, and his attempt to build back better failed. I will explain. And then a TikTok psychic from the UK claimed that something very bad was going to happen to President Trump, but was wrong. So all of that and so much more on this episode of Nightly Scroll. I got one person in the chat, one that I've seen that says, I'm always looking for new shows. Thanks, Haley. You need to
What platform?
watch this show. It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
This is not a paid paid promotion, but
Make sure we hashtag that. Not an endorsement.
Not an endorsement. Hashtag not an ad, but very good nonetheless. Okay. So President Trump signed an executive order saying that flag burning will be no longer in this country. Take a listen.
You get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they used that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement.
Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone. Never had a problem after that. It's pretty amazing. We stopped it. But this is something that's, I don't know, in a certain way, it's equally as important. Some people would say it's more important.
All right. So burning the American flag, now punishable by a year in jail. The order also targets non-citizens, saying that they will terminate or revoke visas, permanent residence visas, or naturalization proceedings for non-citizens who desecrate the flag. To which I say, good. Burning the flag might be protected under the First Amendment, but I believe you should be able to voice your distrust, your displeasure with the country and your government all you want, but I don't believe in burning the flag. I don't believe in burning the flag that your fellow citizen will die for in battle. There are servicemen and women who give the ultimate sacrifice or are prepared to give the ultimate sacrifice to protect the ideals and the rights of everyone in this nation. They don't know them. They'll never meet them. But the flag is symbolic of everyone who lives in the greatest country in the entire world. It is so great that people from all over the world are desperate to come live here, whether they break the laws or not. And if you come here illegally and then you burn this flag, you should never be able to apply for citizenship again. It is inexcusable. So that is the first executive order. Another executive order that President Trump signed today was ending cashless bail, where defendants don't have to pay any money to be released from jail. They just, judges decide whether or not they're a flight risk or whether or not they're a danger to the community, and then they get to go on their merry way. They don't have to pay a damn thing. I was reading up on this. I do research all day long leading up to the show, and I will go everywhere. I go all throughout the mainstream media. I need to hear what everyone's saying, right? So I'm reading up on this from the angle of NBC News. And I thought that this was funny because in this NBC News article, they were talking about how critics were viewing this, critics viewing the cashless bail, but they named no critics, no direct quotes from a critic. They just said, critics, though, have slammed the administration's handling as overreach and unnecessary. They argue that cash bail disproportionately hurts low-income people who may have more difficulty securing the money to pay bail for release from jail. If enough critics are opposing President Trump in this, you couldn't find anyone on the record and get a quote from them. I just think it's funny that, critics say that this will disproportionately hurt low-income people. You know how you can get out of paying bail? Not committing crimes. If you follow the law, you don't have to worry about finding the money to pay your bail. This is a surefire way to save your money. You don't have to get the cash bail because you're not going to jail. If you just do the right thing, you don't have to worry about it. So maybe these low-income people that the critics are all concerned about could just follow the law and they don't have to worry about any of this. So this policy basically tells people, regardless of their socioeconomic status, that you should not commit crimes. So ending cashless bail will certainly deter criminals. But what President Trump has implemented so far is working. He deployed National Guardsmen and local law enforcement, of course, to end crime in D.C. And this all happened last week. He made a big showing of it last week. What day was this? Thursday, when he had the night where he was buying burgers for everyone. So that was Thursday night. And since this whole initiative started, 9 days ago. These are the results. So Attorney General Pam Bondi posted this on X saying they have arrested over 1,000. Exactly 1,007 arrests have been made, and more than 100 illegal guns have been seized, 111 to be exact. And of those more than 1,000 arrests, 86 of those were criminals who have assaulted these police officers or National Guardsmen, which is great. I say, get these people off of the streets. They're clearly loons. I don't know who in their right mind would assault a police officer, but we see this time and time again. We saw it during the Defund the Police movement, the Summer of Love in 2020. Name a city, close your eyes, pick a liberal city on the map, and police officers were being assaulted. That's why morale was so low amongst police officers. And we saw this in LA during these No Kings riots. And we're seeing this now. And thankfully, now we have an administration who's going to put these people in jail. You can't assault anyone. You certainly cannot assault police officers or impede on what they need to do. They're doing their jobs. I don't know how anyone could oppose this. I don't know how anyone can see the results, the promises being made and kept, and then oppose this. If you care about your constituents, you claim to care about the people that you serve, I don't know how you can oppose what President Trump is doing, but Maryland Governor Wes Moore, he certainly opposes Trump. Listen to what he had to say.
We're not willing to be part of the solution. Keep our names out of your mouth. Donald Trump, if you are not willing to walk our communities, keep our name out of your mouth. If you are not willing to understand the pride and the beauty of this city and this community, keep our name out of your mouth. Because if you were willing to visit, if you were willing to spend time, if you were willing to actually walk our communities and walk our streets and not just talk about us from the Oval Office, you would see what we see. One of the greatest cities in the United States of America. So let's keep up the work. Let's make sure that we also hold the promise of leaving no one behind in this mission.
Yeah, I've walked around Baltimore before. It's not the greatest area, and I have no desire to go back. So when Governor Wes Moore says it's the greatest city in the United States of America, I beg to differ. I'm sure some people there beg to differ, the ones who actually have to deal with the crime day to day. But here's what President Trump said on Truth Social in response. He said, Governor Wes Moore of Maryland has asked in a rather nasty and provocative tone. I don't think it was nasty, but maybe it was provocative. In a nasty and provocative tone that I walk the streets of Maryland with him. I assume he's talking about the out-of-control crime-ridden Baltimore. As president, I would much prefer he clean up this crime disaster before I go there for a walk. Sorry, he's so funny. I honestly, as governor, I mean, it's the mayor's job as well. Whoever the mayor of Baltimore is, I don't know. It's their job to clean it up, but I do find this very funny that, you know, he should clean this up before I go there for a walk. Wes Moore's record on crime is a very bad one unless he fudges his figures on crime like many of the other blue states are doing. We saw that in D.C. But if Wes Moore needs help, like Gavin Newsom did in LA, I will send in the troops, which is being done in nearby TC. There is no more crime and no more murder in DC. So anyway, thank you for your attention to this matter. Long Truth Social post here, but I think that that's hilarious. And yes, speaking of cleaning up crime in Maryland, maybe Wes Moore could be more concerned about his Maryland dad, Killamar Abrego Garcia, who surrendered to ICE custody there earlier this morning. He was sent to El Salvador in March, of course. Remember, all these Democrats rushed to his side. I mean, they jumped on flights so quick, taxpayer-funded flights to El Salvador to go visit this dude in prison. He's a known wife beater. I mean, he was caught with 8 people in his car. So, alleged human smuggler, alleged gang member, and all these Democrats, I'm saying alleged because he's on trial for these things, right? He's on trial for the human smuggling, so innocent until proven guilty. But Democrats rushed to his side saying he was just this sweet Maryland dad. And a judge ordered to have him sent back to the United States. So the Trump administration said, no problem. We'll get him on the human smuggling charges in Tennessee. If you want him back here, we'll try him for human smuggling. So that's what they did. That's where he was caught with 8 other illegals in the car. Apparently, they all gave Kilmer Abrego Garcia's address in Maryland, but then he told the officers that he was taking them to work in St. Louis, Missouri. Huh? I mean, clearly something is amiss here. And Abrego Garcia was granted pretrial release last month, but he remained in jail at his attorney's request. Of course, his attorneys are fighting for him to have all of these special privileges. And of course, these Democrat attorneys and judges are fighting at every turn. Anything that the Trump administration wants to do to get this dangerous man out of the country, they are going to fight him. So federal officials are arguing that he remains eligible for deportation because he entered the country illegally in, actually, I don't know when he entered, but he was ordered to remove by an immigration judge in 2019. So they have grounds to deport him regardless if these liberal judges or whatever, whatever they're arguing for, they can send him home. Like wherever home is, they can send him. Because he does not belong here. He came here illegally. So his attorneys are now alerted that the Trump administration says, and they're warning that he could now be deported to Uganda. And earlier this afternoon, a U.S. district judge ordered that Abrego has to stay in the United States, temporarily blocking the deportation to Uganda until there is a hearing. So again, I feel like with Kilmer Abrego Garcia, it's something happens, we take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
I saw you just mentioned that the research says that he entered the country in 2011.
2011.
Dang.
And then, so he was here for 8 years before he got caught, and he had a deportation order in 2019. I mean, anyway, it's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. So all of these news outlets, by the way, have reported and pointed out that Kilmer Abrego Garcia is being sent to countries that he has no ties to, which is such an odd argument to make. I've never understood this argument because illegal immigrants clearly don't care too much about their ties to their home country. They leave their home country behind to then come here and mooch off of us. So I don't think they care where they go. And whether these criminals are sent to jails in El Salvador or Uganda, what's the difference? He's going to be in a jail cell. I mean, am I wrong for that? I just feel like if he's going to be looking at a wall in a jail cell, who the hell cares where it is? You can't stay here.
Maybe some of those South American prisons are a little bit rougher than wherever Ghislaine Maxwell is, even though she's looking at walls. You know what I mean? I would say the chances of getting
Someone made a great
shivved in the shower might be a little more significant in South America.
Someone made a great point in the chat that he has no ties to this country.
100% true.
He had no ties to this country when he came here. Unfortunately, he flew under the radar for so long that's why these people in the liberal media say, well, he has ties to this country. His wife is here. His wife that, had him arrested for domestic violence. So it's like, yeah, his wife is here. He has kids here. They have anchor babies. This is what they do. They do this for protection purposes. And now people in the mainstream media can say, oh, well, his family's here. And oh my gosh, I say deport them all. Like if you want to stay together, you have a decision. You can go with your gangbanger dad if you want. And if you want to stay in America, then stay in America. I mean, the kids are American citizens. So don't cry about families being split apart. I mean, your dad made that decision when he decided to be a criminal. So I don't know. If you want your family to stick together, don't commit crimes and come here the right way. Come here the right way to live out the American dream. Be our guest. No one has anything against coming here the right way. If your idea, though, of the American dream is human smuggling, wife beating, and gangbanging, you can take that behavior elsewhere. And if you get caught committing those crimes or other crimes here, you'll be sent elsewhere. I'm not sure what's not clicking for these people, but it's easier to obey the laws. But there are people in this country, millions, who will defend illegals who happen to be killers. I'm going to get to this story in just a second. But first, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor for tonight's show, Genucel. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me tell you about the transformative results that people see after using Genucel. So here's another one from Sandra in Arlington, Virginia. This is a true story. After 5 days of using Genucel products, my husband said, "You look young. Whatever you're doing is working." Yes, this sounds like a fake commercial, but it actually happened. And he didn't know that Sandra was using Genucel. She likes the texture. The products are easy to use. They were working on her sensitive skin. She's tried all of the expensive products until she tried Genucel and it started working. And now it is your turn to see the results that Sandra is using and seeing, and myself. So Genucel summer sale is on. Get Genucel's complete skincare package, which now includes the dark spot corrector, plus the classic Genucel bags and puffiness treatment, immediate results, effective results in just minutes, and even their breakthrough jawline treatment helps tone and contour the jawline area. All of this for 70% off. Try the best skincare in the world for yourself, completely risk-free. Go to Genucel.com/scroll today and start looking years, even decades younger tomorrow. All orders are upgraded to free shipping. See results after day one. You will get compliments everywhere you go, guaranteed, or your money back. Genucel.com/scroll. Genucel.com/scroll. I also want to tell you tonight about Blackout Coffee. I have it right here. Drinking my Blackout Coffee before the show because I got to stay hype for the end of the show. I've got to stay hype until scrolling time. So Blackout Coffee helps me do that. Let's talk about convenience, though, without sacrificing quality. You already know I drink Blackout Coffee right before the show. I also drink it in the morning. And if you need that caffeine fix fast, their coffee pods are a total game changer. These are not your average grocery store pods. Blackout pods are packed with fresh roasted, bold coffee made right here in Florida, and they work with single serve pod brewers. So yes, it is fast, it is easy, and actually delicious. No more of that bitter, stale junk. Just pop one in. Boom, you've got a strong, smooth cup of coffee in just seconds. So whether you're racing out the door, juggling kids, jumping into back-to-back calls, this is your new morning lifesaver. And the best part is they ship nationwide. So no matter where you live, you can get Florida fresh coffee at your door in just days. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/scroll for more. Okay, so let's get into this story. I try not to say the names of these criminals because I just don't want to give them clout. So there is an Indian national. We played this video on the show a few days ago, but if you don't catch every show, that's fine. We played this video. It went totally viral, so I'm sure you've seen it. But the Indian national that was driving on the highway in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and made an illegal U-turn on the highway. His, 18-wheeler jackknifed, and, his truck was taking up the entire highway, and a car rammed into the truck. And unfortunately, the family in that truck passed away. Horrible. Now, a Change.org petition has more than 2.8 million signatures urging Governor DeSantis to lessen the sentence for the man who killed 3 people. You can see it says right here, free petition, plea for fair sentencing, and it has 2.8 million signatures on it. And it says this: we, the undersigned, urge Governor Ron DeSantis and the Florida Board of Executive Clemency to re-examine and reduce the sentence for a 28-year-old truck driver involved in a fatal U-turn crash on Florida's Turnpike in South Florida. It was a tragic accident, not a deliberate act. Well, he deliberately made an illegal U-turn. So while he didn't deliberately try to kill someone, his deliberate act killed people. And they went on to say, well, accountability matters. The severity of the charges against him does not align with the circumstances of the incident. They were arguing that, he has no criminal intent. He had no criminal history, although he's here illegally. He had no prior record and fully cooperated with authorities. And they're basically urging Governor Ron DeSantis to reconsider alternative sentencing measures. I'm not joking. Restorative justice, counseling, or community service. Community service for killing 3 people? So at the end of their change.org petition, it says this: by granting clemency, you would reaffirm the value of proportional justice, the power of community advocacy, and the potential for rehabilitation. We believe this cause is not just about one individual. It speaks to the broader principles of fairness and mercy in the justice system, and it is signed Collective Punjabi Youth. Youth? He's 28 years old. He's not a youth. He's a grown man that made a very poor decision to make an illegal U-turn that killed 3 people, 3 innocent people. Not only this, the crash was on August 12th. Right after that, the Indian national and his brother, who was in the passenger seat, fled to California. That's where they got their illegal CDL licenses, by the way. So the guy who was driving the car, he went to California first. He was arrested in Stockton, California. His brother was found in Sacramento just a few days after the crash. So here's what we have figured out since his arrest. He could only answer 2 of 12 questions on the English language proficiency test by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Just 2 out of 12. Those are not good odds, by the way. Then when he was asked to read highway signs and to see whether or not he knew what they meant, he could only identify 1 out of 4. So this person should not have been driving. California should not have been giving him a commercial driver's license. If you cannot see the road signs or understand them and know what they mean, you cannot be driving. I mean, these people saying, he had no criminal intent. California should not have given this guy a license. He also obtained a commercial driver's license in Washington state as well. These are sanctuary state policies, and we're seeing not only how they're just failures, but they are dangerous, not just in their states, but all over the country. If you're giving illegal immigrants commercial driver's licenses in California, well, guess what? He can just pick up and drive wherever. I guess someone's employing him, and his brother was in the car with him. So made his way from California all the way to Florida to kill people. And people are calling for justice in this petition. What about justice for the family who died? Where is the justice for them and their loved ones? If this illegal gets a lesser sentence, they don't get justice. This is a prime example of why I support the Trump administration blocking federal funds from sanctuary states and cities. They are enabling criminal behavior that may not occur in their sanctuary utopia. It could occur anywhere. The good news is, whether these sanctuary cities and states and jurisdictions want to comply or not, law enforcement officers are stepping up and doing their jobs anyway. So do we have this video that we played last week? So you may remember Attorney General Pam Bondi sent a letter to 30 sanctuary jurisdictions saying, you better figure this out. You better clean up the sanctuary stuff, actually start deporting illegals, arresting them. And if you don't, we're going to take your funding. So, for example, this is how Boston Mayor Michelle Wu responded to Attorney General Bondi's letter. Watch.
We're here again today because last week, Boston received a letter from the Attorney General of the United States on official letterhead from the federal government threatening to prosecute city officials and withhold federal funds unless we cooperate with carrying out mass deportations. At a time when this federal administration is already causing so much fear and harm in our communities, these threats are serious and consequential. But our same communities have told me loud and clear that silence in the face of oppression is not an option. The U.S. Attorney General asked for a response by today. So here it is.
This was last week.
Here is our response. Stop attacking our cities to hide your administration's failures.
So last week, we went through just the lunacy that is that video about no one's being oppressed. This is people being held accountable. The Trump administration is actually doing something about her failures and the failures of mayors and governors like her. So she tried to look tough, defying Attorney General Bondi and all that for harboring illegals and not wanting to face the consequences. But ICE Director Todd Lyons, he did an interview with Howie Carr on the radio, and he told Howie Carr that rank and file officers on the ground are not willing to stand idly by as dangerous criminals roam the streets. So here's what he said. They can't cooperate openly out of fear of getting in trouble or getting fired, but they're helping us anyway. So according to Lyons, this isn't just happening in Boston, but it is happening all over the country in sanctuary states and cities. Local law enforcement officers who understand the threats that some illegals pose to the community, they want to help their cities become safe again. These are people who signed up to enforce the law. That is their mission. That is their life's work. So when moron politicians come in and stunt them, they're not going to be happy. And it turns out that they're not letting these moron politicians stunt them. They are going to help law enforcement and help these agencies, these federal agencies, do the jobs that they were meant to do, because when you let law enforcement do what they want to do, you will watch communities across the nation flourish. When you defund the police, we saw that happen in 2020. That was a great example of what not to do. Law-abiding citizens felt less safe, and law enforcement officers were targeted. So they felt less safe. Their morale was in the toilet, and crime was way up. Speaking of crime being way up and the defund the police movement, Zohran Mamdani, who's running for mayor in New York City, he is also big on defund the police. He thinks that we should be able to just send, social workers to, diffuse domestic violence situations, people who are unarmed. It's insane. None of this makes any sense at all. But now he wants to end all misdemeanor charges. So he's a Queens assemblyman now. And he has endorsed not having prisons. He has questioned the purpose of prisons altogether, and he wants to roll back any punishment on non-violent offenses. So he wants to legalize prostitution, and here are some of the misdemeanors he wants decriminalized. Shoplifting up to $1,000, assault without a weapon, third-degree assault, petty larceny, menacing third-degree drug possession, DWI, forcible touching, sexual misconduct, second-degree sexual misconduct, second-degree sexual abuse, second-degree identity theft. Does that make you feel safer, Andy?
Good luck on the subway.
I mean, you can beat someone up without a gun and just not go to jail?
I mean, that's exactly what that says.
I mean, you can forcibly touch someone and not go to jail. You can drive under the influence and not go to jail.
You can almost rape someone and not go to jail.
I mean, this is... You could steal $1,000 worth of merchandise and not go to jail?
That's happening now.
I mean, when I lived in New York City, we started seeing, you walk into a Walgreens, a CVS, any kinds of those convenience stores, and everything is locked up. Everything, cough medicine, deodorant, body wash, shampoo, anything that's liquid, everything is locked up. You have to go to what you want. You have to ring a bell. It says push for assistance. And then it says, something like someone is going to come help you now. And then you have to sit there and wait for someone to come help you. It takes forever because they're understaffed and everything is behind this lockbox. I just want to go in and get my freaking deodorant. So guess what? if it's so unsafe to go buy things and they're so afraid of shoplifting, I'm just going to go buy my stuff off of Amazon and have it delivered to my front porch.
That's what we just said. We were just like, Amazon.
Why would anyone go into a store anymore? Like, this is going to discourage anyone from going to shop in a brick and mortar store. They're allowing criminals to run amok, and then the inmates run the asylum. They don't care about the people who actually have to go and shop. They don't care about the law-abiding citizens. They let people steal $1,000 worth of merchandise.
It's almost like this is going to turn out to be like Gotham City. You know what I mean? It's just total crime. Inmates run the show. No responsibility at the top.
Someone in the chat said, buy it from the criminals. There's going to be this like black market for deodorant in
Totally.
New York City.
Black market body wash.
Yeah. So New Yorkers who see Mamdani as this young, progressive candidate who's going to be this new, refreshing face of the party, their minds are not going to be changed. They have already been living in New York City with their deodorant locked up and their shampoo locked up. Their minds will not be changed. These are the white liberal ladies with white guilt, and they will vote for socialistic candidates because it makes them feel good. They get to pat themselves on the back and feel like a good person because they didn't vote for, a white dude. And let me just say, we don't have a lot of good options in New York City running for mayor right now, other than Curtis Sliwa. He's the best white dude they got. So, listen, Eric Adams, not a good option. Andrew Cuomo, certainly not a good option. They don't really have much. You would hope that New Yorkers would wake up and see that Curtis Sliwa was part of the movement to clean up New York City in the 80s. He actually cares about law enforcement and making the streets safe again. But these New Yorkers don't care. They don't care.
So let me ask you this. Like, I'm from Tennessee. So, like, I look up there and I'm just like, this guy's a caricature. Like, he's just an absolute idiot. Who would vote for him?
Mamdani?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, in New York, you've been up there. Like, that outsider looking in, I'm like, this guy's a douche. Like, surely people see that. But, like, no he really has something here that's super scary. I mean, it's one of these major cities in the U.S., these cities have been teetering on really poor leadership, but I wouldn't say that like they're like, it's like a poised to fail situation. But if New York is that desperate to elect him, I don't really know in 2.5 or 3 years if it's bounce backable.
It really has nothing to do with the policies themselves. I think Democrats are especially young Democrats, I think they're very easily wooed by the sounds good on paper type policies that, the cool kid in school would run for class president and he would say pizza parties on Fridays, no homework, and snow days. And then people just buy into it. Like they're just morons.
And I know that the housing situation to people who are just like young people, even professionals, especially in places like New York, desperate for some sort of affordable housing. I know that's tough, and so he floats that sweetness out there. But like, what's good about having any kind of space where you can get a discount on housing when you get the crap beat out of you walking to work,
right,
and your tennis shoes stolen?
Yeah, I mean, I've told this story on the show before, but I have friends who are liberal. They live in New York City, and their very nice apartment building is next to a hotel. And then that hotel became a migrant housing situation. And they said, we don't actually feel safe anymore because they're doing drugs and this is what, like, these are the sounds good doesn't work policies. So for the bleeding heart liberal, it sounds good. We're going to help poor people get food. We're going to help poor people get housing. But it doesn't actually help because none of these policies go through. It's the same thing with Biden forgiving student loans, and then he maybe forgave the student loans for like a few people, but it's not what they were expecting. And
it's sad to say the elephant in the room is a lot of these people, like the mental issue and distress and mental trauma that some of these people have is so prevalent and deep. It's an inability to even retain housing. You give certain people these apartments and they will be back out on the streets because that unfortunately is how deeply troubled some of these individuals are. So it's not just a give me free crap scenario. I mean, it's a deep understanding of the issue and a compassionate understanding of the issue. But like, he legitimately scares me, because if you historically, and you know this, the pathway to major U.S. politics is through New York City. So if he's in this position and there's weakness in Democratic leadership, this is scary. You agree? This is a scary thing.
Yeah. No, it is very scary. And I think if he wins the election and then we see the Omar Fateh character in Minneapolis win the election as well, I think the DNC will put up a candidate like that, like an AOC or something, either as the presidential candidate or, a vice presidential candidate, something like that. I think we will see more socialism, because if it is winnable, Democrats will cling to it because they have nothing right now.
It's not just winnable, it's winnable in the biggest market on the globe.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, the summer of 2020, the summer of love, and all these horrible policies on steroids, I think Mamdani could maybe use some steroids. This is what we saw. This very sad gym photo op. I'm sure you all have seen this video by now, but here's Zohran Mamdani trying to bench press. He couldn't do it alone. He needed help. Watch this.
This is how you move up in the pole. This is how you move up in the pole. Yeah. This is how you move up in the pole. Yeah.
All right. Hands are on the bar. There's also two guys helping him. Okay.
Let's go.
135 pounds.
Let me get one more. Let me get three.
Let me
get three. Yeah. Yeah.
He benched twice with the help of another grown man.
Yeah.
That one person that's called a clean and jerk with the guy behind him. He's power cleaning while the Zohan is just
He's just there for show.
barely pressing up anything.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. If you've not worked out, I understand that might be something to do, but like that for a man, that isn't a lot of weight.
Also, why does he have all of his keys hanging off of his belt loop like he's a janitor? Can you pull that up again? Look at his keys dangling off of his belt loop. Like you're an assemblyman. You're running for mayor. There's like one key on it too. Hold on. You see it when he's like sitting down onto the bench. Look at, what is that all about? Why does he have that? Is that to make him look
important?
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. But I don't really know why.
Those are all the keys to his P.O. boxes across the city where he gets illegally paid contribution funds.
His parents have multiple apartments for him to live at, so it's just he keeps them all straight. I don't know why politicians do these photo ops in general. I don't know why he was at this thing, but I don't know why in the moment, if you know that you can't bench press 135, don't get on the bench. Just say, no, I'm in a shirt. I don't want to get sweaty. Like, don't let the photo op happen, because this is worse. Going through with it and having a grown man help you through 2 reps is a horrible look.
Do we have any context as to actually where he is? I mean, is this just a random bench just chilling in the middle of the road? Like,
I don't know.
Like in the middle of Fifth Ave, is there just a random bench press? Like, where is this at in the city?
Kind of an event.
Is it a prison yard? Like, where is he at?
I also want to point out that in the video, they were saying, this is how you move up in the polls. This is how you move up in the polls. That's what they were shouting at him. And it's like, this is how you move up in the polls with someone else helping you bench press? Lucky.
According to producer Justin here, who has diligently researched this, it's a men's day. an annual open street men's day. 500 men making a difference. Benching 135. Outdoor gyms, car shows, circus performances, because every man loves circus performances, some face paint. There was some boot camp classes, financial literacy information, good times there. Hopefully a couple hot dogs.
Interesting. Luckily for Mamdani, I think this will probably make him look more accessible and relatable to the beta losers who will go on to vote for him. It's 45. Should we get into some scrolling time? Should I do the Cracker Barrel?
You got some good stuff in scrolling time.
Let's do the Cracker Barrel stuff because it sets up my first video in scrolling time. I know people are kind of sick of the Cracker Barrel stuff, but they put out a statement. Can we pull this up? They heard us, right? They heard us saying that the Cracker Barrel logo is just horrible, because it is. And this is what they said. A promise to our guests in the last few days, if have showed us anything, it's how deeply people care about the Cracker Barrel. We're grateful for your heartfelt voices. You've shown us that we probably could have done a better job sharing who we are and who we'll always be. So they're kind of regretting this change from the old Cracker Barrel logo that we know and love with Uncle Herschel on it. He's sitting on the porch. He's got his barrel. He's got the rocking chair. It's got the old-timey Route 66 kind of a vibe, right? And this guy on MSNBC is all upset that people were upset about the Cracker Barrel logo. So watch this.
Is the logo ugly? Do you like the logo?
The logo is fine. Companies go through rebrands all the time. You know what I'm sick of?
Manufactured BS?
Yeah, manufactured BS, but I am so sick of the outrage of these snowflakes. Mm-hmm. There are so many things that offend them and get them all upset. They're shooting beer cans and burning hats and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, there are real things people are concerned about, and they're losing their minds over a redesign. Mm-hmm. What the... See, I'm trying
to get him in trouble. You see what I'm quiet? I'm like, go ahead.
So that's MSNBC's Jonathan Capehart. And what they don't understand is that nobody's actually mad or cares that deeply about the Cracker Barrel logo. It's just something that happened and everyone was reacting. It went very viral because it's an ugly logo, but no one's claiming that MAGA doesn't have more important issues to worry about. No one is claiming that this is like top on their list and, no one can think about anything but the Cracker Barrel logo. This is just, the rebrand stinks and people are talking about it. People don't like
if it's broke,
change.
don't fix it. If
100%.
it's broke, don't fix it. And if you fix it, don't break it. And how many times do you think if two jabronis have been to Cracker Barrel combined? Zero?
I don't know. Maybe.
You know what I mean? So it's like don't mess with it. You don't have to mess with it. Bud Light, you didn't have to mess with Bud Light.
Right.
It sells itself. You don't have to mess with it. The Cracker Barrel is on every exit, everywhere. It sells itself. Just don't mess with it.
Yeah. And I will say I've only been to Cracker Barrel one time. So, I'm not super invested in the old Cracker Barrel versus the new Cracker Barrel. I don't care. I don't really eat there. But people like familiarity. And I think, frankly, Americans are sick of seeing restaurants and brands that used to have culture and style becoming these lifeless shells of what they used to be. The Cracker Barrel logo is boring. It doesn't represent the brand. I'm not saying it's, the most important issue ever, but it's sad to see the life sucked out of everything. Everything's plain. Everything's minimalistic. Everything's black and white. Everything's boring. Not to mention, they removed Uncle Herschel from the logo. So he and Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima and the Land O'Lakes lady, they can all hang out in the logo graveyard. Rest in peace.
Well, the only good thing about this is did you see about that new item? Did you hear about that new item that they added to the menu? They're going to put the Uncle Herschel's breakfast back on, which I think is great.
Right.
Yeah, but did you hear about the other one that they were going to add?
No. I heard that they said, oh, come on, not the Shrek meatloaf.
The redemptive thing about this chat is that they brought the Shrek loaf.
There is nothing more American than Shrek meatloaf. Everybody knows that.
Just think about it, Cracker Barrel. Just think about it.
Oh, my God.
Some green beans and Shrek loaf.
They should make a meatloaf that looks like Uncle Herschel. Do you think they could do that without being totally offensive?
I mean, just look at that. That's American.
That is so American. I mean, no one would do that in another country. This is uniquely American.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think it'd be a long line on the front porch to come in and eat a
Someone
Shrek loaf with some casserole.
Someone in the chat said, give us back Uncle Herschel. So in that statement, that dumb statement that Cracker Barrel made, they said Uncle Herschel will remain on the menu. He'll remain in, parts of the country store and things like that. But, it's all... Anyway, my first video in Scrolling Time is about Cracker Barrel. So let's get into some Scrolling Time. All right, AI strikes again, this time for good. So here's the Cracker Barrel situation brought to you by AI. Watch.
Hi, I'm Julie, CEO of your favorite Southern themed restaurant, and I want all of you to know that we hear you. We fucked up. So we're going to fix it, starting with Uncle Herschel. Don't you dare move from that rocking chair, sir. You're back in the logo. Yeah. You said we went woke. That. Not only did we go back to our Southern roots, we doubled the down. How are those pancakes tasting?
It's like a Kid Rock concert in my mouth.
Do you own a certain red hat? Well, guess what? 25% off. How do you like them pancakes? I'll take it. But I'm still going to call you woke. Please, please, please come back to Cracker Barrel. I beg of you. I just lost this company $100 million over a logo made in Canva. I thought you fuckers liked that Chip and Joanna shit. Well, lesson fucking learned. Help a sister out, please.
I love how she runs away. She got increasingly very angry throughout the
Did you see everyone in there was eating with their hands? Did you notice that?
Everyone was eating with their hands. Everyone had a MAGA hat on. The Confederate flags in the back. They were like, we doubled down. AI strikes again, I will say. But I want to go into a more concerning trend on TikTok that I've been seeing. So first, let's just show you the photo of Trump's hand. We've seen this before. But President Trump has been seen with some bruising on his hands that the White House has said is because he's on an aspirin regimen. He shakes a lot of hands, therefore bruising on the hands. That's just what they're saying. Who knows if that's true? But he's been seen with some foundation covering those bruises, and they're not really doing a very good job. They're not doing a very good color match, a very good shade match, if you ask me.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Who's the makeup artist
I would
there?
Just say,
you know what I mean?
Leave the bruising. I mean, if you're going to cover it that badly, you might as well just leave the bruises and stick with the story with, the handshaking or whatever. But anyway, regardless, people on the internet they think that the end is near for President Trump, including this psychic from the UK on TikTok. She had the entire internet in a tizzy over this prediction. Watch.
Trump is going to die on the 24th of August at 9 a.m. of a fucking heart attack. And you can quote me on that. I don't know if it's going to be 9 a.m. my time or 9 a.m. his time, but it's probably going to happen around like 8:58 or something. I feel it. Yeah. Like 8:58 and a half. 24th of August. It's going to happen. I got my beers in the fridge chilling. And these are like beers I got for my birthday. So it's like celebratory, bro. And like I put the whole fucking box in the fridge chilling. So yeah. I'm really excited. Happy Dead Donald Trump month, everyone. I'm really looking forward to it.
Really gross. Because, well, first of all, this person is delusional and wrong, right? Because she said August 24th, 9 a.m., President Trump is still kicking.
According to my research, that was yesterday.
He signed a bunch of executive orders today. He's still kicking. He's doing a great job. So just that's wrong, obviously. Totally delusional. But the fact that this person in the UK wants President Trump to die so badly that they have celebratory beers in the fridge. I mean, people saw this video and leftists were overjoyed by the fact that President Trump could just drop dead on, yesterday at 9 a.m. And thankfully that did not happen. But it had at least some people potentially waking up to the TDS. Let's play this next one. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, so there was a video of this woman who said, I can't believe that I fell for this TikTok psychic. And what does this say about me? That I'm believing in this so much and I'm upset over President Trump not dying. And it begs the question, why do you want him to die so badly? I don't like Joe Biden. I didn't want him to die in office. And do these people understand that we have a system in place that would make Vice President J.D. Vance the president should that happen? It's not like they're going to like call Kamala up and have her swoop in and save the day. Like, that's not how this works. So I don't know how Trump being the president or Vice President Vance being the president would change anything for the deranged liberals on the internet. But either way, they are sick, deranged, miserable people.
Well, that video was totally pulled. Like, totally pulled.
I wonder if she realized, I'm calling for the death of the president of the United States, or at least I'm reveling in the fact that he might die, and maybe I should delete this off of the internet. I mean, maybe she woke up to the fact that her digital footprint is not looking so good at FBI. Here, if I'd be commenting at FBI, tagging the FBI account. Look at her. Anyway, this other woman, should I get into this tomorrow? Let's do number 19. This woman who wants to date Republicans just for a free meal. This is a liberal. She said that she was going to go on a date saying, on my way to use a Republican man for free dinner because I lied and I said that I was conservative and wanted children on Bumble. Almost forgot that this was the whole point of dating apps. And she's just smiling to herself in the car on her way to a free meal. If you are on dating apps, regardless of political affiliation, if you are on dating apps to use men for free meals, you are gross. You're gross. If you are lying to men on dating apps to get free meals, you are even grosser. And if you are so politically divisive that you would lie about your political affiliation, I mean, most people on dating apps are on there to find someone for real. So you're wasting his time. You're wasting your own time. Go buy yourself a damn meal. I just think this is gross. Someone in the chat just said they will find out. I mean, these people don't care. They don't care. I mean, she did it for TikTok clout on the internet, but I think this is rude. This is totally rude. Why would you do that?
Well, she's obviously standing no chance with some of these people. I mean, like, I don't really know. That is super low.
If you're that liberal, wouldn't it feel better to get a liberal guy to actually like you and pay for your meal? I guess you can't do that.
And the question is, how long in the course of that date does it take for the guy to figure out that she's a loony? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
I don't know. I mean, why would you even go on a dating app? Why would you lie to someone's face anyway? She said that she's on a date with this guy who wants to have kids, and she's lying about wanting to have kids. Like, regardless of politics, that's gross too. Gross behavior. And then, of course, these videos, they get tons of likes. All these liberal feminists in the comments are like, you go, girl. Really? You're encouraging that disgusting behavior? Grow up. This last video, just before we go, I think is just so funny. This is President Trump talking about the World Cup. He's talking about the World Cup and how he might just take his pants off and wear shorts. Watch this.
It's going to be a big event at the Kennedy Center. Do you intend to take part in it? Will you have a part to play on December 5th?
I might play. I mean, I see the money that these soccer players, we call it soccer, but I see the money that these soccer players are making. I may try and play. I'm a very good athlete. My son is a very good athlete, and he's a good soccer player. He's on the tall side for soccer. Yeah. He's 6'9". That's pretty tall. But that's pretty tall. It's on the tall side. He's good. It's on the tall side, but he's good. But no, I may put on shorts. I look extremely good in shorts and join the play. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great.
Many for.
I'm here for it.
I'm
here for it.
I think I've seen him in shorts. Remember that picture that went viral of him playing tennis in shorts? Is that real or is that AI? Pull that up, Justin.
Oh, we found it. Hold on.
Trump wearing shorts. obviously he's joking, saying that he looks good in shorts. I don't know when this is from.
I think he could pull that off. I mean, that's a good look.
I think maybe a few years back he could pull it off. I don't know if I'd want to see him in shorts the same way that I didn't want to see Joe Biden on the beach. But I do think he is so funny. We don't have presidents who are funny like this. I mean, he is one of a kind.
What are the chances of those shorts actually being from the 80s? I mean, the overall look is from the 80s, but what are the chances of the shorts themselves being made in Vietnam somewhere in 1980? Like, what are the chances? He found that in the closet.
That had to have been from a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that long, but it was a long time ago for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, the FIFA World Cup in 2026 will be held across 16 cities, host cities in Canada, Mexico, and the United States. So that's what he was talking about, saying that he might just even play. And
by the way, I love when he brags on Barron. I love it.
Yeah, as he should.
Yeah, I mean, there are moments of him when he's just like, that is a very formal thing that was happening in the Oval Office right there, but he has a neat ability to make it informal. Where he's just like, he turns it into like a barbershop, or he's just like chatting. You know what I mean? That's a really cool trait about him, I feel.
I love it. The proud dad in him. Someone in the chat said Reagan was funny. Yes, he was funny. But in recent history, I mean, Bush had some funny moments. But I feel like Trump is the funniest president in recent history, don't you think?
Not even close.
He's hilarious. He's a comedian.
I mean, he might be the funniest president
we've ever had.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with you. All right. Well, thank you for scrolling.